Shocking Dodgers Shohei Ohtani refuses rent reduction in 7th inning. Mistaken announcement leads to despair this season. Tears for the nationwide MLB shock. Ohtani's appearance in the game while in poor health was truly worthy of the word anniversary. Before the game, he had been complaining of a stuffy nose, and even a tightness in his chest. Manager Dave Roberts explained that there was a possibility that he might have been suffering from dehydration. Normally, he would have been scheduled to start the game, and the team and fans had been hoping for him to show his two-way skills, but he made the difficult decision not to take the mound. He expressed his will that he could hit, and was added to the lineup as a designated hitter. In the third at-bat of the 5th inning, the score was as difficult as ever, and with the count still tight, Ohtani caught a changeup low and outside. The ball cut through the air with incredible speed, and StatCast showed it to be 174 to 175 kilometers per hour. This was his 20th home run of the season. It was a double and the first hit of his third consecutive game with a hit. The sight of him putting on such a performance despite being in poor health had the crowd at the opposing PNC Park in stitches. However, even Ohtani's brilliant bat was not enough to overturn the team's overall steady offensive power. The C-1, who had taken the mound as a big hitter from the beginning, gave up a solo home run to Tocon, stealing the momentum, and the batting lineup consistently showed no connection. Despite creating chances, they were unable to deliver a decisive hit, and in the end, the Dodgers ended up with no points. Ohtani's spirited hit was nothing more than a lonely shining light in the midst of a disappointing result. Tension ran through the Dodgers bench in the 7th inning. This happened during Shohei Ohtani's at-bat against left-handed pitcher Sisk. The first pitch was a foul ball, which ticked down the count, and the third pitch came. The quick ball to the inside bit into his hand and hit him directly in the right hand gripping the bat. With a dull sound, Ohtani couldn't help but scream and was shown distorting his face on the spot. A gasp spread from the stands for a moment, and everyone imagined the worst. The ball rolled weakly in front of third base. Normally, it would have been an easy hit for an out. However, Ohtani ran as fast as he could despite the pain. Because third base was in a defensive position closer to shortstop due to Ohtani's shift, the ball was handled late, and the race with Sakuya went to Kamihito. Ohtani slid onto the base with such force that his foot touched first base before the opposing center fielder, but there is no record of it. The venue was filled with surprise and small applause. Immediately after, Ohtani attempted to touch up from first to second on a fly ball to right field by Betts, once again showing his boldness in running the bases. Despite suffering from poor health due to coughing and nasal congestion, his attitude of trying to contribute to the team faster and more gritty than anyone else moved the hearts of the spectators more than his results. This series of plays only recorded small numbers on the scoreboard, but it left a strong message to the Dodgers bench that Shohei was still fighting. According to team insiders, Shohei Ohtani's appearance upon returning to the dugout was painful to all eyes. He had taken a hard hit to his right hand while gripping the bat during his 7th inning at bat, and as soon as he sat down on the dugout, he rubbed his hand repeatedly and wore a clouded expression. He tried to force a smile, but the occasional grimacing of his face was captured on camera, causing tension to run through the stands. The Dodgers' medical staff immediately rushed over and carefully examined the back of his hand and wrist. Although the external damage was not noticeable, the redness and swelling were gradually spreading, and the possibility of hidden internal damage could not be ruled out. The staff whispered to manager Roberts that they needed to reduce the injury as a precaution, and anxiety spread throughout the team. However, it was the dugout that had to make a difficult decision. Should they protect Ohtani, the team's symbol, at a crucial time that could determine the outcome of the season, or should they keep him on the field as a spiritual leader? The expressions on the faces of manager Roberts and the team staff showed a sense of indecision, and the atmosphere in the dugout was filled with an uncomfortable silence. Amidst rational arguments that health should be prioritized and a desire to win, only Ohtani exuded a strong will that he could still fight. After the game, Shohei Ohtani appeared before the press. Despite suffering from intense seeding and a stuffy nose, he played the full game, and his expression showed signs of fatigue, but the first thing he spoke about was his condition. He underwent an X-game examination after the game, but fortunately there were no serious abnormalities. "I'm honestly relieved," he said with a smile. Those words drew sighs from the press box. However, his fearful expression was also tinged with deep regret. "I thought I did everything I could, but I couldn't connect it to the team's victory. It's very disappointing that I couldn't translate the chances I created with doubles and nasals into results," he tried to say. For Ohtani, team victory is the top priority over personal performance, and the stronger that feeling was, the heavier the wiring on this day weighed on his chest. Furthermore, he confessed that there was something he was worried about more than his own physical condition. It was an injury to Masahiro Smith. He is a star of the team both offensively and defensively, and he has a big presence in the clubhouse. He continued with a serious look on his face, saying he hopes his condition doesn't become serious. Smith, who was forced to catch a ball with his right hand during the game, will be an immeasurable loss to the Dodgers. Without him, his rhythm will change, and there will be a big hole in the batting lineup. That's why we can only pray that he can return as soon as possible. Ohtani's voice was filled with compassion for his teammates as he spoke. The way he cared about his teammates more than the outcome of the game or his own pain once again showed that he is not just a star player, but a true leader who supports the team. In the second inning, an unexpected accident struck the Dodgers. Masahiro Smith was hit directly in the right hand by a foul tip, and although he continued to play for a while with a worried expression on his face, he could not hide the pain. In the third inning, the team quickly decided to send in a pinch hitter, and Smith went to the bench. The team announced immediately that it was a right-handed hitter, but the impact of losing the defensive and lead man who had been responsible for defense and the lead throughout the game was immeasurable. Manager Ray Roberts said in the post-game press conference that his right hand was feeling quite fine, but was in severe pain. He said with a grim expression that it would be difficult for him to play tomorrow. Although the results of the X-game examination showed that he had avoided a fracture, it seems that he will be unable to avoid missing several games depending on the condition of the executives. The absence of Smith, who is a valuable asset to the team in both disciplinary and defensive aspects, is not just the absence of one player, but could significantly disrupt the rhythm of the entire team. Smith has already played in 109 games this season, posting impressive numbers of .296 batting average, 17 home runs, and 61 RBIs. He has also played an indispensable role as a leader on defense and a calm judge at key moments. Just a few days ago, on August 31st, he hit a dramatic walk-off home run in the ninth inning against the Diamondbacks, giving the team a victory. The possibility of their key defensive end being sidelined in such a bad way is a serious blow for the Dodgers as they enter the final stretch of the season. Team officials have explained that they will make a decision based on future weather conditions, but writing Smith off at this time will have an impact that goes beyond just numbers. With a postseason berth on the horizon, the Dodgers are at risk of losing one of their key players at their biggest youth stadium. But a few hours later, the official diagnosis was announced by the Dodgers medical staff. Will Smith has suffered a hairline fracture to his right hand. The fracture was so small and not severe enough to displace the bone that surgery was not necessary, but he will still be out for several weeks. The impact of the foul tip that hit him at that moment was too costly for the team as they enter the final stretch of the season. The medical staff emphasized that it was a minor fracture and that it would likely heal if treated properly, but they also explained that he would not be able to hold a bat or play as a defensive end for the next few weeks. The recovery process will first involve treatment to reduce inflammation and inflammation, followed by physical therapy and rehabilitation to regain strength and range of motion. The club has expressed optimism that if all goes well, he could return before the end of the season, but this is an optimistic scenario, and if his recovery is delayed, there is a risk that he will miss the postseason. Smith has been a key player on